Welcome to The Real World. My name is Cameron, joined by Carson.
Hello!
This is The Real World Podcast. We are so excited that you've joined us for this very special episode about Frankenstein.
That's right. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein has officially hit theaters.
It's in theaters and it'll be on Netflix very soon.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's a doozy. We're going to get into it. I can't wait to break it down.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk all about it. What's the story? What are the themes? How does this relate to Scripture and the Gospel? It's going to be a fun conversation. Let's get started. All right, thank you so much for joining us here on The Real World. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified of all our videos. We are a movie podcast that looks at movies from a biblical worldview. Mm-hmm. And so this is one that is going to... There's a lot here.
Well, there's a lot here, and it's very surface. It's very upfront.
It's not.
It's right in your face.
It's not hidden.
No. This isn't going to be like our Tron one, where it's kind of subtextual a little bit. You have to read into it. He literally reads the Bible in this movie. Right. They constantly reference Adam and Eve.
So true.
There's a Christology kind of woven throughout the whole thing.
Yep, big time.
Guillermo del Toro is a very Catholic man.
He was raised Catholic.
It's on display in all of his movies. I don't know if he's practicing or not, but...
I don't think he is. I think he said he is an atheist now, but...
There's a song in Pinocchio literally about going to church.
Yeah. So true.
And it's all over Frankenstein, too, so we're going to get into it.
It is. We're big fans of this filmmaker. He's 61 years old, born in Mexico. Yep. Heavily Catholic influence, like you mentioned. Mm-hmm. Grew up very, very strict religious household. And coming from the perspective of two Reformed Baptists, it's going to be interesting talking about some of these ideas he has here. Yeah. But it's amazing to see his filmography. He started with Blade 2. Not his first film, but one of his early movies, Devil's Backbone. I've got a lot of his films. Hellboy. My favorite is Pan's Labyrinth.
I think so too. That's the best one.
The Hellboy 2 is great. Of course, we're watching Pacific Rim in the background here. Yep. Huge fan of his first team up with Netflix was Pinocchio, the stop motion animated Pinocchio movie.
Yeah, I think it's the best. So good. I think it's the best Pinocchio adaptation we've ever had. I mean, it's just so delightful.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Brilliant film.
And then he did Nightmare Alley, which got a nomination for Best Picture. So,
that's right.
A lot of good movies, good filmmaker, definitely one of our favorites, I would say.
For sure. I mean, I don't think he's ever made a movie that I haven't rated at least 4 stars.
Me too.
He doesn't miss. He doesn't miss. When he goes in, he goes all in.
So true.
On his movies.
I agree completely. So, Frankenstein, obviously this character's been around for literally hundreds of years. Yeah. Mary Shelley's novel, Frankenstein, written in 1818. It's something that, it's a character and a story that's been told so many times on screen. And so, with a movie like this, the reason these stories keep getting retold is because they really are kind of like these
it's a tale as old as time.
These stories that really speak to us as human beings. Yeah. Because ultimately they're about the grand narrative that we're all a part of, which is the story of history, his story, if you will, God's story that he's unfolding in front of all of us. Right. And this one specifically speaks a lot to creation. Sure. It speaks a lot to original sin. And this version, I haven't read the full novel. I've read a little bit of it. Okay. But this version also speaks a lot to forgiveness. Absolutely. There's a major theme here.
That's the core, and I think the heart of this movie that kind of drives it forward is forgiveness. Yeah. Forgiveness of self and forgiveness of others. Right. Forgiveness of, really, just your circumstance. Sure. Just to say, hey, look... this is out of everyone's control, but I'm not just going to wave my fist and be angry at existence over this. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So the story of Frankenstein, in case you don't know, is one of Victor Frankenstein. He's the title character.
And let me just say, this movie tells the story of Frankenstein better than any other film I've ever seen.
I agree completely.
It's, I think, the quintessential telling of this story.
Yes. I'm a huge fan of the 1931 film by James Whale. Boris Karloff as the creature. Yeah. The Universal Monster movie, and the sequel, The Bride of Frankenstein, which I think is equally as good, if not better. But this one sort of tells the full story of Victor Frankenstein and the creature.
Yeah, from childhood all the way to his college years to It's an epic saga.
It is an epic saga. That is for sure.
But yeah, it's longer than I expected it to be, and the scope and scale of it is larger too.
Yeah.
But we really get to understand Victor Frankenstein's character,
right,
and really sympathize with him.
Yes, big time.
Before the creation of the monster.
Absolutely.
So that when we get to that point, and the movie's kind of divided kind of into two parts, focusing first on Victor and then on the monster.
Yes.
But once the monster's created, then he takes hold and becomes the protagonist of the story.
Yes, exactly.
So it's really interesting the way they have it all laid out.
And they don't do a simple, like, here's the villain story, here's the hero story. It's like you really sympathize with both of them.
Yeah.
I feel like throughout the film, and so that's the strength of the story, is that it really is a well-balanced story. Literally because it's broken up into two parts.
Of course.
And so it's really well done. It's really well crafted, the screenplay. And of course, Guillermo, at this point, he's a masterful filmmaker. As a director, he really can get great performances.
Especially for this movie.
Yeah.
Because this movie famously has been in production since...
20 years. About 20 years he's been trying to make this movie. This is his favorite book of all time.
Yeah.
It's the story that he's always wanted to put on screen. Has kind of been too afraid to. And I think he now has the confidence to put it on screen.
Yeah.
And Netflix, look, they gave him a big budget, $120 million budget here.
Wow.
So this is a huge budget, and it's all on screen, absolutely.
The visual effects are fantastic.
Yep.
As they always are in a Del Toro movie.
Makeup, animatronics. I mean, they use every trick in the book.
I just gotta say, there's a scene early on in the movie that's a great display of Del Toro's sensibilities, and it's the college presentation.
Yes,
he's got
that's exactly what I was thinking. Yep.
And he unveils this horrific thing, and it's alive, and it's moving, and you can see it pulsating. It's just incredible. All of those like gore effects are just kind of. It's disturbingly beautiful. It's kind of his aesthetic. He's kind of always had that.
He finds the beauty in the horrific and the grotesque.
Exactly. That's why I think Frankenstein is his favorite thing, because that's what the story's all about.
Absolutely. And he nailed it. I mean, he really nailed it. It's a great movie. I highly recommend it. It is R-rated. Like I said, it's very grotesque and violent and bloody.
Not really harsh on language.
No, not hardly any language at all.
Partial nudity, I would say, in some moments, but not really like sexual content.
Sure, exactly. So definitely recommend it if you're into Del Toro or the story of Frankenstein. It's not a family film, but I think it's well worth watching.
I think so too.
Mostly because of what we're going to focus the rest of the podcast on, which is the storytelling and the themes and the concepts and the biblical connotations that go along with this film. So, as we said, it's really all about creations. This guy Victor Frankenstein wants to create life. His mother dies when he's young, and so he becomes obsessed with defeating death. And that's really what the story kind of focuses in on.
Death is the enemy.
Death is the enemy, yes, absolutely. And he's obsessed with finding a way out of death that is scientific, and that is man-made, perhaps we could say.
There's a great, and I think the sequence in the college, which I keep referring to, he really lays everything out there.
Oh yeah,
really, it's kind of like a telegraph of the entire arc of that character,
right?
Because he gives this presentation, and it's very scientific, and he has all these weird explanations for everything, and the actual heads of the school are like, "You're wrong.
Yeah,
God created life. God created death. He has hold over everyone.
Right."
And it's a really interesting...
He's not willing to accept that.
Exactly.
And so he becomes sort of this megalomaniacal type of a character. Who becomes very prideful, very selfish. He, I think Oscar Isaac said he focused on rock stars when he was developing this character. He's got that very flamboyant, kind of charismatic personality, and he's very kind of larger than life, but ultimately very selfish and self-centered. And so he's sort of just using people. The tagline of the film is very telling. The tagline is, "Only monsters play God."
It's true.
And so it's interesting that they've kind of flipped this idea of, this being that is created by Dr. Frankenstein as being the monster. Well, it's actually Frankenstein himself who's the monster.
Of course. Now, I love, there are a lot of little tidbits and themes kind of sprinkled throughout, but we're missing a key character, and that's Elizabeth.
Elizabeth is a key character, absolutely.
I think she's the beating heart of the story.
She is.
It's an incredible performance, I think. I think all three of the leads are very well acted.
They are.
But she brings up the theme of the monster being a pure creature.
Yes.
Free of the original sin of man. It's kind of a new kind of innocent thing.
Right, exactly. So Genesis 1:26 and 27, we see we're created in God's image, after His likeness.
The monster sees this as well, because he literally reads the Bible as the first book he's ever read.
That's right. Yes, when he meets the blind man.
Yes, which is a great sequence.
So we're created in God's image. We, of course, fell into sin in the garden. And the thing about the Frankenstein story is it's about a man creating something in his image. Mm-hmm. So, yes, while the creature does have this sort of purity, he's still made in man's image. He's still made after Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So he's still tainted. He's not a perfect being. He's susceptible to anger and to violence and to these different things, especially as he learns and grows.
He kills many people.
Yes, he does. He does. So that's an interesting idea, being created in sort of an imperfect image rather than the perfect image of God. But like we said, the monster, he's a very sympathetic character.
Very sympathetic character.
Because Jacob Elordi, who played this role, just does a beautiful job of giving him that sort of naive sense.
In the beginning.
Of the character when he's first created.
And ultimately, a sense which is really the same sense Adam had in the garden of companionship. Yes. A longing for companionship.
Exactly. So the whole idea of the bride of Frankenstein is very present in this movie.
They don't go full into adapting that story.
Right. But again, Elizabeth sort of represents that idea.
Of course.
I think initially, almost, when Victor meets her, is sort of, he thinks a lot about his mother, from her. And then, of course, as the story progresses, the creature becomes obsessed with her.
Really. It's a story about family.
It is about family. It's about fathers, about sons.
Yes.
That's the kind of primary relationship. But the mother aspect is definitely strong
I
love
Victor Frankenstein because his father is the cruelest, most cold, irritating character in the movie.
Absolutely.
And Victor does everything in his power not to be that man.
Right.
And by the end, is that man.
Right.
To the monster.
Exactly.
So it's very, very cool.
So one thing I wanted to talk about with this is the whole idea of when God creates man.
Yes.
How he treats man. Mm-hmm. He treats man very well. He gives man the garden. Yeah. He gives him a responsibility and a duty to tend the garden and to name the animals and all these different things. And man is living
and companionship.
He gives him. It's not good that man should be alone. Mm-hmm. And he gives man Eve. So Adam and Eve, they're living in harmony with nature.
And more than just Eve, he gives man communion with God.
Correct.
Perfect unity.
Correct.
Man, woman, and God.
Yes.
Living as a harmonious relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. So you could see Adam as the son of God in many ways. The first man is referred to that way. Mm-hmm. And then when we look at this movie Frankenstein, we see Victor, right, had a father who did not treat him well.
No.
And then we have, of course, Victor then having this son.
Who had a mother who loved him.
Had a mother who loved him, of course. But then he has a son.
Mm-hmm.
He creates. And he basically goes
there's
the exact same way
There's
that his
also
father
a little
went.
bit of Cain and Abel there as well, because he has a brother.
Yes,
Victor Frankenstein has a brother.
True. Yes, he does. William.
The favored son.
Yes, he is the favorite son.
It's very much a fall from grace for Victor Frankenstein.
Yes. But he's then given he creates the son in the creature.
Correct.
Who basically he treats the same way his father treated him. He ends up very much abusing him and sort of torturing him,
and ultimately killing the woman he loves, just like his father did.
Exactly. So it all ends in destruction ultimately. The way, there's a way that seems right to man.
Yeah.
But its end is destruction. Mm-hmm. And the wages of sin is death.
That's right.
And that's all very much on display here. I think very, very, very clearly. We see the kind of first 3 chapters of Romans there.
There's a great sequence where in part 2 when the monster is meeting the old blind man and he's kind of hiding out in this barn, investigating this family, trying to learn everything he can from them, how to speak and what the family is like. And there's a part where he's like living in the wilderness, and he talks about how the world has fallen.
Yeah.
Because he literally is like, the wolves, when they attack the sheep, don't hate the sheep.
Right.
the men, when they attack the wolves, don't inherently hate the wolves.
Right.
But death is a natural cycle that exists in a fallen world.
Right.
It's like it's embedded in creation. Like death is embedded in life.
Right.
In a fallen reality.
In a fallen reality, it is. Yeah. It's still the enemy that needs to be defeated.
Totally.
And that was defeated on the cross. But before that,
he talks about it briefly because he references that because as he's talking about reading the Bible,
he talks about Adam and Eve,
the legend of the first man, the first woman,
Job,
the Tower of Babel.
Talks about the tower, right?
And then leads all the way up to kind of vaguely at the end, a man. Kind of Job. I think is kind of what he was referencing there.
Yeah, I mean, he lost everything.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. So there's visuals that go along with all these that are mentioned. So obviously Adam and Eve, the whole creation of the monster, the painting, that was being done of Eve eating the apple was a clear, evidence of that as well.
A peach.
Right. And then you also have the tower, right? I mean, there's literally a tower. Did you notice the name of the tower? Aqua est vita. Water of life.
Water of life.
So what you have is this tower where the creature's created. It's sort of a Tower of Babel. Man trying to become God or reach God.
Right.
Literally, Victor Frankenstein's at the top of the tower, creating life on his own.
Yeah. And he used silver as the conductor, 40 pieces of silver.
There we go. And then what happens, right? The tower's destroyed. Okay, so he burns the tower down to destroy his creation. What happens to the creature is he falls off the tower into water. And he comes out of the water with no memory of what's come before.
Right.
He's lost. He's a new creation.
He's
been baptized, right? So he's literally a new creation, wandering the earth. And this is when he comes into contact with this family in the woods. The old blind man starts to teach him, how to talk, and he becomes very intelligent.
Guillermo del Toro is a big Iron Giant fan, as am I.
Indeed.
There is basically a scene ripped directly from Iron Giant in this movie where he's talking to a deer.
Yeah,
he's eating berries with a deer. They're just seeing each other.
Yeah,
it's a very beautiful moment.
Yeah,
and then the hunters come.
Out of nowhere, there's a gunshot, and the deer's dead.
Yeah,
and you're like,
shoot him, and it's very cool. It's a great sequence.
Great sequence. Very Iron Giant.
Straight out of Iron Giant. I knew what he was doing. I know he loves Iron Giant. I knew what it was, Guillermo.
So true. Great. So a lot of great imagery here. A lot of just really strong, powerful imagery. Again, the way the movie is structured is so well done. You get kind of two perspectives on the story. It's bookended by these scenes in the Arctic, which are really great. Color plays big into this film. So you got red representing death and blood, and then you have green representing life and nature, and then you have kind of the ice blue, cold, white kind of scenes. And all these colors play strong into Pan's Labyrinth has it too. You see the green and blue or red here.
Yeah, color theory is all over movies.
Very strong. Guillermo uses color, and they all represent different things. I love seeing Victor wear these red gloves the whole movie. He's literally got blood on his hands.
He's literally caught red-handed. Yeah.
So I love those kind of images that call these things to mind.
There's a lot of detail like that all throughout the movie that are very telling of their characters.
And even the batteries he sets up to bring this creature to life, right? They're red when he's dead, green when he's alive.
Yeah.
So there's that motif of
just like Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Indeed. Well,
another Brad Bird film, which we know Guillermo del Toro is a big Brad Bird fan.
Yes. We'll cover Brad Bird soon. Don't worry. Hold your horses.
Red is dead, blue is glue.
That's right. So look, we could talk about this movie for hours, but we literally just got out of the theater.
Yeah,
so we're still kind of reeling. I think
it's a pretty long movie. What's its runtime?
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
2 hours and 30 minutes.
I would say it feels it, but I wouldn't say that that's a detriment to the movie.
Right.
I think that because
I was never bored.
No, I
never wanted it to end.
No.
Really.
No, not really. I thought it was going to go on for like
another hour,
half an hour longer because of what they were almost setting up there toward the end.
Right.
But I think it's a brilliant movie. I love all of the ice captain and his crew. All that stuff is great.
Lars Mikkelsen.
The opening of the movie is so strong.
It is.
It's very, very good.
Strong opening. Strong ending. Strong ending. The ending got me emotional.
Ending with forgiveness.
Yes.
That's always the best way to end it.
It's not only forgiveness, right? It's that beautiful scene with the father and son. Forgiveness, reconciliation, and then freedom. Right? Because they're trapped in the ice this whole movie. And there's literally freedom at the end, the sails. I mean, it's like a beautiful image.
Yeah.
And then the sun.
The sunrise.
He
basks in the sun.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the sun.
As he weeps.
The sun basks in the sun.
Exactly. Yeah. The sun. I love that scene too when the creature's in his bedroom.
Yeah.
Opens the shades and he spreads his arms and says, the sun, the sun.
Yeah, and it's
it's like, wow.
And it's cool because that moment is kind of played for comedy a little bit. It's kind of funny because he's mimicking him. And then later on, it becomes an emotionally powerful moment, which is great. I love it when movies can do something funny early.
Right.
That's kind of like melancholic and sad later.
Yeah.
So, really cool.
It's brilliant. Look, again,
great film.
We could keep talking about it. There's so much to say about it, really. Yeah. We could probably do a follow-up, and maybe when this comes to Netflix, we could do a rewatch and follow this up. Mm-hmm. But we just wanted to get our initial thoughts out there and let you guys know about this movie. If you have the chance to see it in theaters, I highly recommend it. I mean, it's
for sure
made for the big screen.
Yeah.
This is a big-budget movie. It's a huge production.
Yeah.
The sets they build are so elaborate, and the music and all of it is just phenomenal to see in the theater. But at least watch it on Netflix because there's a lot in there that's going to make you think. And I think if you're thinking with the gospel in mind, as we always are, that you're going to actually get a lot out of this movie. Mm-hmm. Even if, some of it's going to make you squirm and be uncomfortable because it gets pretty grotesque and gory. But it's really, really well crafted. It's a great story. Yeah. And you could tell, like, Christoph Waltz, we didn't mention. He's an actor I really like. Mm-hmm. Has a great character. Yeah. And a great little story he's got going on, too.
I'll tell you, almost every Guillermo del Toro movie, I can't think of one off the top of my head that doesn't have a morgue sequence.
Yeah.
A sequence in a morgue where someone's dissecting a body.
Right.
That's like a quarter of this movie is that. It's pretty great.
It's
Del Toro clearly... He loves body horror.
Yeah.
He loves, like, human anatomy, alien anatomy, creating, like, how does this thing organically work?
Right.
And mechanically things.
Like, he's a very inquisitive guy.
In the same way that Tim Burton is really interested in complex machineries, Del Toro is really interested in, like, organic organisms and things.
So true.
It's very elaborate. It's very beautiful. It's grotesque, but it's very, like, artfully made, and it's all practical. Yeah. So it's very impressive. He has a real eye for that.
Right. He really does. It's so true. He's a one of a kind visionary, I would say, of our time. I mean, like you said, 13 movies he's made, and not a single one's a dud. I mean, every single one of them is like extremely well done and interesting, and they have interesting stories and characters, and they're just so weird. They're so unique. That's what I like about him as a director. Is there's no one like him. There's no one I could. I mean, Burton's maybe the closest. That you say like.
Yeah, I would say.
Who is like Del Toro? It's like I guess kind of Burton, but
they're kind of reverse. They're kind of opposites of each other because
ways,
Del Toro always prioritizes story. He always prioritizes the narrative and the visual spectacle of what it is.
Right.
Whereas I think Burton gets sometimes lost in his own mind in some of his movies and kind of forgets that he's making this for an audience.
Right.
And you just kind of get lost in the shuffle of things sometimes.
Yes. That's so true.
But Del Toro, look, he's a visionary. I don't think he's ever made a bad movie. I think this is one of his best, in all honesty. It's definitely the best Netflix movie that's ever been made. It's usurped Pinocchio, which was Del Toro's last movie, which was previously the best Netflix movie, and now he's made one even better.
It's true. I think you're right.
But look, if Netflix is interested in keep on giving Del Toro and other auteur directors basically a blank check to go do their dream project, I say go for it. As long as they release them in theaters.
We need them in theaters. That's what I was about to say. We really need these in theaters like this because, it's just... we feel the pain of like the streaming movie epidemic, right? Ever since the pandemic, now there's been an epidemic of very basic streaming movies you just put on in the background and you just kind of don't pay attention.
They're conceived for the small screen. Yeah. They're meant to be on a second screen.
Yeah, exactly.
So while you're on your phone, you're kind of browsing up, looking at it.
Right.
Just kind of listening to it most of the time. Podcasts have become so popular. Everyone's always listening to something.
Right.
So it's like movies are now more dialogue heavy than they've ever been before.
It's true.
And the visuals are usually kind of boring and flat, and they just convey basic information. Yep. So that at a certain glance you can tell, okay, that person's talking about this thing.
Right.
This movie, like, it kind of subverted a lot of that.
Yeah.
It had a lot of really interesting visual moments.
Yeah.
With no dialogue and just music.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the creature, I mean, he can't talk for much of the movie, so it's just him interacting with people and kind of looking at stuff. And
I'm glad they put it in the theater, because that's the environment you have to be in to watch a movie like this.
Yes, absolutely. So,
it's hard to watch a movie, even at home by yourself, to not glance at your phone once in a while.
It really is.
To check the time or whatever.
Yeah. And some movies deserve it, right? Because some movies are made for that.
Exactly.
But you know, our goal is always to kind of engage, you know, to not turn our brain off when we're watching a movie, but actually turn it on.
Yeah.
And really think about what is trying to be communicated through this film. Sometimes it's very simple. Other times it's very complex. There's a lot going on. Sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes it's, you know, more subversive. But yeah, that's what we try to do here. I wanted to read a verse before we signed off.
Great.
And this is the verse that I thought a lot about during the movie, or this passage, I should say, from Ephesians 2. And if you have anything you thought of, let me know and I'll pull it up. Ephesians 2, starting in verse 1. And you were dead in the trespasses and sins in which you once walked, following the course of this world, following the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that is now at work in the sons of disobedience, among whom we all once lived, in the passions of our flesh, carrying out the desires of the flesh and the mind, and were by nature children of wrath, like the rest of mankind. But God, being rich in mercy, because of the great love with which he loved us, even when we were dead in our trespasses, made us alive together with Christ. By grace you have been saved, and raised us up with him, and seated us with him in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus, so that in the coming ages he might show the immeasurable riches of his grace in kindness toward us in Christ Jesus. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing. It is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast.
Enough said.
That's the gospel in a nutshell, folks. Yep. And I think it's really well displayed in this film. Like we said, there's a lot about forgiveness there. We could look at passages on forgiveness as well, which is very important, like we said. But you know, a lot of these movies, basically what you get with most movies is the redemption arc comes from the character, comes from within.
Sure.
We know that we have redemption in Christ. He's the one who secured our redemption. He's the one who... We're the ones who needed to be forgiven.
Changes us from within.
Changes us from within. Yeah. Exactly. So, good stuff. Well, look, we could go on and on. We want you to engage the conversation now. So we want you guys to comment, and we want to talk about this movie. Go see it in theaters. Let us know what you think. Leave us your Letterboxd.
Yeah.
We're both on Letterboxd, so we'll follow you back. We'll put those links in the description below. The Real World is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, so you can follow us there as well. I forgot to pull up the subscriber that we're shouting out this week, so I'm going to do that right now.
Absolutely.
Because we so appreciate all of our subscribers. We've added a few this month. Feathers Fam 7.
Yes.
Feathers Fam 7, thank you so much for your subscription. We really appreciate it. Leave a comment. We want to know what you thought of Frankenstein and what is the next podcast topic. We're always looking for ideas, but we want to know what you guys want us to talk about and what you guys want to hear about.
Definitely.
We are looking forward to seeing Predator Badlands.
That's right.
Very soon.
Should be out soon.
So that might be the next topic, but yes, let's have a conversation in the comments. Make sure you share this all over social media to get us over 700 subscribers and to get the word out on The Real World and these discussions on movies from a biblical worldview.
That's right.
This is important. We should not shy away from the art that is out there in the world. Right. We should engage and discuss and take every thought captive.
Absolutely.
And renew our minds. So thank you again for subscribing. Make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified of all our videos, and we will see you next time right here on The Real World.